wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome once again, episode 467, as seen on TV. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with Wrestle Talk Podcast tonight. Looking forward to another great interview with Micro Wrestling's own Pinky Shortcake and Syko. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And you may have seen them on Big Little Brawlers, but so let's go ahead tonight and let's go ahead and start with some of this housekeeping stuff that we got to get out of the way, ladies and gentlemen. And then after that, I will get my co-host in here for tonight. So as always, we like to thank our sponsors. Royal Mills Transportation's the one and only Dewan Mills Nobleman's Barber Lounge, KCMO, Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall, Interstate 70 Sports Media. That's Jeremy Carp and the guys over there. Little Popeyes Designs, where you can get your very own Wrestle Talk Podcast Tumblr. And the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. And if you don't know about them, be sure to check them out, ladies and gentlemen, because I know we would not be here without any of those great sponsors and any of you guys, the fans, because we're here for you guys, and we appreciate you guys 100%. No matter whether you're joining us live or whether you're joining us on the replay, we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank you for your support. And as always, be sure to like and share our broadcast. Just get the word out there. So, well, I think I've hit the main points of our housekeeping here. So, I guess the next task on my agenda here is to bring my co-host in for the night, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get him in here, because we all know I would not be here by myself tonight. So let's get the man himself in here, the one, the only, the Night Owl, ladies and gentlemen. Night Owl, how are you doing?
Gotta get into focus, man. There we go. Que pasa, que pasa, que pasa. Loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family. You heard my guy Hoss, baby. We are here, episode 467 of the WTP. And all I can say to that is, wee! Yeah, Hoss. This show feels different, bro. We got some incredible guests. And we were this close from you know what? Maybe this week ain't the week. We weren't really sure if we were going to get everything settled by showtime. But, man, the wrestling gods opened up the clouds, figuratively speaking, and decided to shine their light on us, bro, because we have not one but two incredible guests tonight. I cannot wait to talk to the stars of Discovery's brand new hit show. Everyone's talking about it. If you haven't heard about it already, what the hell is wrong with you? You're clearly not paying attention. That's right. Every Tuesday on Discovery, make sure you guys set your DVRs. It's also available on Max and Discovery Plus. It actually is going to come on right after tonight's show. It is called Big Little Brawlers. Can we put that poster up just one more time, Hoss? That Big Little Brawlers poster, because I want everybody to see it. make sure if you're tapping in and you're on X or Facebook or whatever during the show, you let them know that the Wrestle Talk podcast sent you. And as a matter of fact, Susie's right, man. You can take that off. We're only 33 episodes from episode 500. Thank you, sis, for acknowledging that. My man, the sick one, FWWC Tag Team Champion. Nice hat. Hey, it is WrestleMania season after all. And then also we've got Aaron Wallace once again here to air some grievance. If we have time, Aaron, we will address your particular situation. But there's so much to get through tonight. We are on the heels of Royal Rumble. And again, we are fully on the road to WrestleMania. Hoss, we're going to get into all that stuff. But before we do, I want to ask you a question, man. How the hell have you been?
Hey, I've been doing good. Last week I had a little bit of a bug and had to step out early regrettably so, but I'm feeling better. I'm back in the saddle and looking forward to a great interview here with Pinky and Syko, and just, couldn't be happier today.
Oh, dude, it's going to be a sick one. Pun intended. Shout out to my guy out in Cali. But yeah, man, it is going to be a good one. Are you feeling better? Are you back to 100% or close to being back at 100%?
Oh yeah, I think I'm back to 100%, man. I'm ready to go, and just had a great weekend. Defended that hardcore championship for FWWC and retained as always. So couldn't be better right now.
Sis said, Henri as ever, but still a jerk. Henri as ever. Hey, who knows you better than your own sister, bro? Hey, you tell her that you subscribe to the same warning label that's sitting behind me right now. You see, I'm sure you guys can see that in the background. It says my sense of humor may hurt your feelings, so just beware. Hoss is no different.
She likes everybody on this show more than she does me. So what can I say?
Hey, it's that's the price you pay for being the older brother. You know what I mean? Younger brother. Younger brother, yeah. Well, of course you're going to get hazed and bullied. That even I think that almost is like her God-given right to bully you. I mean, you are her little brother.
I'm the big little brother.
The big little brother. Same as me. I have an older sister, and I'm the big little brother too. Anyway, as much as we enjoy that family anecdote, and we do love you, sis. Thank you for being here every single week. Big match this past weekend for her as well. I don't believe she came out to win, but she didn't necessarily come out with a loss either. So congrats to her. But we do have some more business to handle before we move on, Hoss, to the high spots segment. And it's a little something that we do every single week. You guys may already see me waving this thing around. Pause. We're going to ask everybody to please respectfully remove your caps. Place your hands over your hearts as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth. That's America, damn it. It's bad right here.
Brings a tear to your eye or blood to your ears. One or the other, I tell you.
Hey, I don't know who said that. I think it was you, bro. I really, really like that. Somebody took Joey's saying and took it to the next level. It might have been you. It might have been somebody said, brings a tear to my eye and blood to my ears every single time. Who was that? We got to give that person credit. That was pretty damn good.
I know I've been using it. I think Sis started the blood to the ears, and I just kind of added it in there.
I like it. You know what? I am in the mood to give something away today. I don't know what. I've got books. I got collectibles. I got magazines, posters. I got all kinds of stuff. So if somebody brings that heat, whether it be in the comments section, or if you really feeling froggy, you want to jump in on the stream with us, then we can just shoot me or Hoss a direct message. We'll go ahead and bring you on. And if you got a strong take, then bring that take. And here's the beauty of what we're about to do. we're going to bring up some topics for high spots. But if you have something that's worth discussing that we're not talking about, you can bring that to. As a matter of fact, you get brownie points for that. If you bring a topic that we want to discuss that's worthy of us having a little bit of a debate, then you might be the one walking away with the prize. I've given away lunch boxes. I've given away T-shirts. We've given away tickets to shows. As a matter of fact, we gave away tickets to one of the first ever AEW shows. Okay? So the Wrestle Talk podcast gets down like that. And we bring you the best guest in the game today. That's coming up about 8:20 Central, 9:20 Eastern for those that are here for the Micro Brawlers. They will be here in a little bit over an hour. So hang tight, stay tuned. We got a lot of great stuff coming up between now and then. Do you agree with that, Hoss? Come on, bro. Come on, softball.
That's right.
Yeah. We're going to get that thing, bro. We're going to get that. You guys just stay with me. I know you're watching the comments and doing all kinds of stuff, but you got to stay with me, okay? All right, Gabe, we love Gabriel. Oh, by the way, congratulations to the brand new Warriors Heart champion. Tip of the cap, sir. Well done. Anywho, it is time. It is 7:15, and we've done enough jabber-jocking. We haven't talked Eddie wrestling just yet, and it's time to get down to business. So, boys in the back, you know what to do. Go ahead and cue up DJ Money as we get into episode 467 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Shoot and Shout segment.
All right. Wrestle Talk Podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like clear chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop. And non-stop like a runner speeches of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a clock flash, look like a belly flop. Now that's hard. We up to steam while they stay slow.
Wrestle Podcast. Now you know we about to start the show.
Oh man, that DJ Money always hitting hard, baby.
Yeah, somebody's a little itchy with the trigger finger today, though. I couldn't even get my. Come on. I like it. You're back to healthy. I'm digging it, Hoss. I want to do things a little bit different this time, Hoss, if that's okay with you. I actually organized at least the first couple of high spots topics. So I'm not saying we're going to abandon the randomizer because I like the unexpected nature of it. But because we are post-Royal Rumble and there are going to be some things that we definitely need to talk about, with your permission, let's go ahead and start at the top and work our way down. And we can go ahead and still hit the randomizer because I think people like it. But I want to start at the top and work our way down because there's something we have to discuss. And if we don't get to this during high spots, I think we did everybody a disservice. Do you agree with that?
You know, that'll work for me. After all, that randomizer always seems to work better for you than it does for me.
You know what it is? Patience. Patience, my friend. You just got to let the randomizer randomize. Everybody wants to rush the thing, and then everyone's like, well, I can't find the poster. I can't find the questions. I'm confused. I have an idea. We should start putting the questions on the posters and the overlays. That way, it's already there. What do you think?
That would work.
Yeah, we can do that. Can you make a note of that, bro, so I don't forget? Can you write that down somewhere? Yeah, that's right. All right, baby, go ahead. Hit the randomizer. Let's go ahead and pull up the first topic, man, because it's going to be a good one. I know the gente want to talk about it. All right, first topic of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, about to appear on your screen, features a member of the roster that participated in this past weekend WWE Royal Rumble. Now, I hate to be the spoiler, but if you missed it last night, CM Phillip came out and revealed to the world that he has a torn pectoral muscle that will not allow him to compete in WrestleMania. So the question is simple, my friends. How we feeling about Punk now? Love to hear from the members of the Wrestle Talk family. By the way, if you're a little shy, you don't want to join us, that's okay. Comment and share. That could also win you a prize here tonight. But Hoss, please take single screen, bro. I got to hear your thoughts on Phillip.
Well, you know, it's no secret that, I am not a CM Punk fan. I know that comes to a shock to many of you out there, but, it's not that I like to see anybody get hurt, because I don't, honestly. I never wanted to see him get hurt, but I'm glad he ain't gonna be on my screen for a while. Um, you know, and I just think it's funny. It's his first match back, and he's already hurt. Come on, really? Just does this even have to be a question? You're muted, Night Owl.
I wasn't ready to come back. I thought you were still going, but that's fine. My bad. I should have been ready. Okay, so everybody get your raincoats, okay? Because it's about to get a little choppy up in this SOB. Because you're going to hear some shit you would have never, ever, ever. And when I say ever, I mean ever, ever, ever would have thought you heard the Night Owl say, okay? Things are going to come out of my mouth, pause, that you're like, yo, what am I even watching? This is not Wrestle Talk Podcast. This is not the Night Owl, because we know that the Night Owl hates Phillip. You see it, CM Pugh, goodbye. And I want to see some more comments. Come on, y'all, participate. Let's hashtag Let's Talk Wrestling, okay? But here it goes. I am extremely distraught that Phillip will not be participating in this year's WWE WrestleMania. Now, Hoss, I can see you backstage. If you want to come on and show your facial expression of shock, you can do that. If not, that's fine. But I'm sure everybody can see that you're like, man, what kind of shit is the Night Owl even smoking? What is wrong with this man? Did he have one too many shots of tequila this past weekend? That may or may not be true. I plead the fifth. But the point is this, and I know I'm belaboring here a little bit, okay? I saw something different. I said it when he first came back. Hoss, you were here that day. I literally said, I think that we may be finally getting the version of Phillip that doesn't believe that there is an I in team. It felt to me, upon returning, that he had his fair share of humble pie before he even walked out. I don't know if that was at the behest of AEW and his exit there, or if it was his entrance to the E. I can't tell you for sure. But what I can tell you is I saw a man who was ready to give back, and the results of the Royal Rumble spoke to that, John. Now, was I happy that he came in so late in the Royal Rumble? No. Because I'm like, here we go. You're going to give this guy the easiest path. Now, they sort of did the same thing with Cody, and he won, and nobody had a problem with that. But I think when it comes to fan capital, to brownie points with the base, I think Rhodes has it in spades. And anybody who wants to contradict me, bring that. Come on, baby. Y'all know tonight I was ready for a debate here tonight. But I guess the point that I'm getting at is this, JP. Hardcore Hoss, hardcore champ. I am disappointed because I felt we were going to see a version of Punk that we had not seen before. A CM Punk that was really ready to hand that baton down. Maybe not like tomorrow, but he was going to kind of work with talent and help elevate them like he did with some of the talent at AEW. He did it. I don't. You guys don't have to like it, but his program with Paige before the beef, his program with MJF, pretty undeniable, even if you're not a Punk fan, because everybody knows I'm not. And anybody wants to come on here and be like, oh, Night Owl, glazing. No, you haven't been paying attention because you already know how I feel about Phil. But the bottom line of this, John, I think he finally came back in a tolerable reincarnation, a palatable version of Phillip that I thought truly saw this as his final opportunity to redeem himself at the biggest stage, and it was taken away from us. And now I wonder, is the injury going to reignite that big, massive Texas-sized chip, I should say Illinois-sized chip, on Phillip's shoulder? I hope that we don't go back to where we were before this last return, because something, and I can't point you to a specific moment, John, maybe, him being willing to take the loss at Royal Rumble, whatever. These are the things that he used to struggle with before, his position on the roster, how he's being booked, the opportunities. And so, it's well documented. But I really did think that we were seeing something new, and I feel like it's kind of been stolen away from us. Now, did I want to see him main event against Roman or Seth? I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't know if physically, I don't know, John. He looked better. I mean, can we at least agree on that? If you don't, because I know you're still not happy about him coming back, but can we at least, on the physical part of Philip, his appearances, his physique, can we at least agree that he came back a better version of himself there?
I can see some.
Did you see it?
Looks to be difference.
Physically, I'm talking about that only. Just physically. Did you notice the difference there?
Yeah, he's physically, there's a difference.
Okay.
I think he still has a lot of proving to do.
Of course.
He's a different person. And I think he needs to do that proving before he gets a main event title shot at any level. But, that's my opinion. I just don't believe that he's had enough time to prove himself yet.
Have you seen? Okay, so you answered the physical question, and we're on the same page there. Did you see enough nuggets or breadcrumbs of what could be this incarnation that I'm alluding to? Did you see enough of that to give you hope? You don't have to listen. Whatever you feel, JP. You don't have.
To be honest with you, most of the time he came on, I turned my TV off.
Wow. You're wild, bro. One more time. Okay, all right. Well, I didn't expect that. Okay, that's fine. Well, then maybe because, we're friends. And I think you trust my wrestling judgment. I've had some success making picks over the last 10 years or so, as you know. Bro, I'm telling you, it felt different. And I think maybe you should give the guy a shot, because I, like you, needed a steady dose of Alka-Seltzer and Pepto-Bismol every time I looked at Philip on my screen. But the fact of the matter is, John, it just felt like a guy that knew he was on his last round around the barn, and he really wanted to milk it for all it was worth from a positive perspective. And now we just go back to wait and see. We go back to wait and see. Do I expect him to recover in half the time that he was supposed to, like Cody did after his pec tear? No. I give it a solid 8 to 12 months. I don't think he's coming back in 6 months like Cody did. But do I want to see him back? Yeah. Listen, don't hate me. I do want to see him. You ready? Finish the story. I wanted to see. I'm sorry, a lot of people hate that. Sorry, John.
You get to be much more of a fan, and I'm going to expect to see that stand-up come back behind you again.
Okay. Are you saying I'm glazing Philip, bro? I'm just. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I haven't said this many nice things about Philip in my entire wrestling fanhood as what you guys just heard in my soliloquy about 5 or 10 minutes ago. So, John, of course you're going to bury the elbow in when you know I'm vulnerable. That's okay. But you know what? I highly encourage you nonetheless to take my advice. When Philip does come back, if he does have that same energy, I'll be the first to let you know, because, man, what better redemption story could there be than the guy that basically tried to tear the place down on his way out, Luke Justice, and then when he comes back, does something unprecedented and something that makes us remember him in a legendary fashion. Luke Justice. I'm seeing similar vibes, but we'll see. We'll see. Guys, I encourage you to chime in on any topic that you see. That was our first High Spots topic, but we've got a few more. So, Hoss, do you want to move on, or do you got anything else you want to touch on, pause, concerning Philip?
I was ready to move on before this one even started.
Bro, chill. You almost made me spill all my apple juice, bro. Relax. All right. Randomizer up. Let's bring on the next topic, baby.
All right. So let's go ahead and hit that randomizer.
Ooh, okay. I imagine that's not the question. I'm sure it'll pop up here in just a second. Okay. So, spoiler alert 2.0. CM Punk is out for an indefinite amount of time. We just had the conversation. The man who is going to be held responsible / take credit for the extended nature of Punk's departure from the company due to injury is going to be one Drew McIntyre. Now, let me start off by saying that I have been trepidatious about buying into Drew McIntyre's heel turn. It's felt a little forced along the way. And it's hard to swallow that pill because he's such a tremendous babyface, and I think we all feel like we were a little robbed from his ceiling as a babyface because ultimately he didn't end up winning the championship in Cardiff. Did I say that right, John? Is that the one in Scotland? Was that Cardiff, Scotland? Did I say that right?
I believe so.
I think so. Somebody correct me. I'm sure you guys will. Point being, I would have loved to see him peak. Pause. Before he turned heel. But more recently, I think it's starting to come together a little bit more. And last night felt like a big punctuation to me concerning what Drew McIntyre, Cardiff, Wales. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think that's going to pop up here in just a sec. But anyway, I think Drew McIntyre can take this thing as far as he wants. He's going to have to get a little bit more dastardly, I think, than what we've seen to this point, because I could just point to the Judgment Day and their progression, Hoss, and just show you that the nastier they got, the more popular that they got. So last night, Monday night, with the attack on Phil, I think definitely takes another big step in that direction, but he's not there yet. And I'm quite excited to see where they go with him because guess what? This guy out of anybody has been one of the most consistent members of the roster over the last 3 to 5 years, going all the way back to COVID. And he has been fairly abstained from the injury bug, John. He's been able to keep himself modestly healthy, or at least moderately healthy, so that they can build these storylines around him. Because a lot of people don't realize, this guy, he's always getting this and that. People would, get mad at WWE for how they handle Rusev or whatever. But then you start to think like, okay, they were doing good things with him. Then what happened? Well, a lot of the times it's associated to injury that we may or may not know about. Like, they pulled the plug, Cena buried him, blah, blah, blah. Over the years, we've heard all these things, right? But in a lot of cases, it's an injury thing. So when it comes to Drew, bro, I can't tell you right now, I think he should go against Seth or I think he should go against Roman. But do I like what I'm seeing? Absolutely. And the sky's really the limit. You can pretty much pair him up with anybody. He's going to be aces. As far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of ready to see a real, true, no Sheamus involved, Gunther / Drew McIntyre program. But I don't know if people already burnt out on that or not, especially since they're both heels in a sense. I think that would be something fun to watch. But am I optimistic about Drew McIntyre? Yes. Do I think he'll capitalize on the opportunity? Well, I think he already did just by doing what he did last night. And he had a hell of a performance at Royal Rumble. I mean, a lot of people are going to talk about the Roman win, but every single one of those guys, LA Knight included, had an awesome showing at the Royal Rumble, John. So, yes, I do think he capitalizes on his opportunities because he already did. He did it leading up to Rumble, did it at Rumble, did it immediately after Rumble. Those are the thoughts of the night, Al. It's on you.
Yeah, I tend to think he has been kind of capitalizing. I think Drew is a very good talent, and I would like to see Drew get a little more heelish than what he has been. And like you said, last night was a good start at that. Do I see him winning a championship soon? Probably not.
Okay.
But, I do really like where things have gone with Drew and hope that they continue to build upon that and just really continue to make people dislike Drew, just because I think he's doing a good job at portraying himself as the heel. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where he goes from here. If they were going to give him a title, though, they should have went ahead and did it.
Oh, there's our guy Aaron Wallace. It was Cardiff, Wales. Sorry, Wales, Scotland. It's the UK. You guys know what's up.
Yeah. So yeah. I think I don't think you can do the Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. I don't think you can do that match too many more times before people are going to get tired of it. And I'm sure some probably already are. So that's why I say I don't foresee him winning a title soon, because I don't see them doing that too many more times.
Well, what about him and Gunther?
Well, that would be putting two heels against each other, and they don't do a lot of that either.
That's
Although
true.
I believe at this point, if you put the two of them together, you would have the fans probably more behind Gunther than you would Drew.
People like Gunther. Hey, I'll give you an example. Think of Bayley. Bayley is a through and through heel. When she won the Royal Rumble, they went crazy. They freaking loved it. So who knows? Wrestling fans are a lot less predictable than they used to be. People think, well, the marks and da. Man, you don't know, bro. That's why y'all go and train 3-4 nights a week. That's why y'all have to start, doing local shows and work your way up, because it takes some time to kind of get that feeling, to develop that muscle. I'm not saying it's not easy for the talents out there that are the best at what they do, whether it's local or national, international. But, everybody goes, well, you just do this and turn them heel and that fixes everything. I don't know. I don't know if it's like that anymore. Because, again, I point to Bayley, through and through heel faction, wins. Oh, everybody loses it. I thought it was awesome, but unexpected.
And I have actually said before, and it doesn't matter what level you look at, whether you look at the professional level, whether you look at your local level, or what level, it's not as much about what you're doing that really makes people cheer you or boo you. It's who you're doing it against. I mean, in my general area, ISP is a perfect example. ISP could come out there and he could tase somebody that's a fan favorite, and they are going to boo the hell out of him. But then you let him come out and tase somebody who is not the fan favorite, and they're going to cheer him. It's not what he's doing, it's who he's doing it against. And I think that's what it's come down to now, is more so who the fans tend to gravitate to and who they're putting them against that makes you the heel or makes you the face. It's not as much anymore, well, this one's pulling these dirty tricks over here, that's heelish now. Yeah, it's not that anymore. Where that's what it used to be. It used to be more about what you did and not who you were doing it against. So I see where that has changed, and that would be a perfect example, with Drew versus Gunther. I believe people would be against Drew in that match. But then,
I just love that part. Sorry.
There's other people they could put Drew against, and the fans would probably cheer him. Fans have cheered him against other people. So, it's not necessarily the what as it is the who anymore.
God, looks like we got a comment here from one of the members of the FWWC. The cleansing is underway. Well, you know what? If we get a chance after the break, if there is a break, I would love to touch on the FWWC Royal Rumble show for just a minute, because some pretty interesting things happen. I know we teased a couple new champions who retained or whatever, but I got some thoughts for you, Mata, if we're able to get to that here in the second hour. Cleansing. Okay. Well, take out your own guys. I guess that's a cleansing. This guy thinks he's Jimmy from Goodfellas. He's killing off all his own guys, and he thinks it makes him a badass. Jeez Louise. I don't know how you associate yourself with these guys, John. That don't make sense to me. I don't get it.
There's no reason to take that stance against Mata. See?
Bro, he literally took responsibility for knocking off members of his own faction. What do you mean you have to take that? He said it. I'm just basically pointing out what he said. What do you mean taking that demeanor with El Mata? What are you talking about?
Now, see, there again, it's a thing of who you do things against and not what you're doing.
John, you should be running for Congress. You're a freaking politician. All right, next guy. You know what? We got one more Royal Rumble related topic. So let's go ahead and bring it on up because we got about 25 minutes left here in the first hour, and we're having a great time. Oh, Susie, here we go. Of course, the freaking excuse wagon right after Monte. Here it comes. Oh, who are we going to hear from next? Arson, Ace? Duh, of course we are. Anyway, so let's go ahead and bring up the third Royal Rumble related topic and see if we can move on to something beyond that because there's a lot of other great stuff going on in the world of wrestling as well. Go ahead, bud.
You know, we might actually have to go ahead and just bring that one up without the question because I think I hit on the wrong spot on that question.
Oh, it's okay. No biggie.
So,
go ahead.
Of course,
let's bring it up. Do we have an image? Do we have the image?
We should have the image.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring that up real quick. And I think it was my question. So unless you know it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the question is simple. We can get rid of this other question. The question is simple. We have a grading system here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Okay, we call it the Super Kick grading system. Okay, and the Super Kick grading system is simple. It goes 1 to 5 super kicks. 5 super kicks is lights out, best of the best, top of the top, your favorite. Okay, and then 1 obviously is the complete opposite. It's something you probably wouldn't recommend to friends, something that you kind of felt like wasn't worth your money. So let's go ahead and we can talk about some of the other matches as well. No big deal for me. I absolutely enjoy talking about Royal Rumble. I actually had a great time hanging out with some awesome friends and watching the show. But let's go ahead and try to give it a grade, a super kick grade, Hoss, on what you would rate the Royal Rumble. And if you want to expand as to why you gave it that grade, I think that would make it even more fun. So do you want to go first or do you want me to?
It was your question, so you go ahead and take that one
first. Well, my question, so I think maybe you should answer first.
Well, I mean, if that's the way you want it.
Plus, I think I went first on the last question, so it pretty much your turn.
Well, honestly, I would give it probably 3.5 to 4 super kicks. It was a good pay-per-view. Now, honestly, I felt like the men's match kind of fell a little flat for me because everybody kind of knew who was going to be the final 2 even before the match ever began. We've known for a while who the final 2 was going to be. So I think it was just a matter of which one was actually going to win it. And I don't feel, and don't get me wrong, I don't feel that this is necessarily a bad thing, but I don't feel that there was that surprise pop moment in the men's match like you normally expect from the Royal Rumble. So I think the men's match kind of left a little to be desired, but yeah, I'd say 3.5 to 4 super kicks, somewhere in there, is what I would rate it. You know, the women's match was a good match. Bayley winning, that went over really well. And you know, KO's match was a decent match, and even Roman had a decent match, even though, you know, they had to bring the rest of the bloodline in on it and everything. But I think it was a good pay-per-view overall. So that's how I'd rate it. So now, how would you rate it?
So 3.75 rating. Is that what you're giving it? Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. And then we're gonna just real quick. I want to jump to Susie's rating. By the way, guys, if you haven't hit that share button and you're not asking your friends to join the show, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay. Only 4 matches, really. Had help winning. Roman had help. R-Truth entered the women's match, so it was funny, but was eliminated immediately. Didn't know Liv was out of jail, and Jade Cargill should have won it. Yeah, okay, all right. We got that from Sis. I like that take. So, okay, so she gave it a 4 previously. And here we go. Here we go again. Okay, so 5. Okay, you know what? That we can agree on. I thought FWC Royal Rumble was a 5 out of 5, and we can talk about that later. If maybe this Thursday on the FWC tonight. And then Aaron Wallace here. Before I give you my thoughts, 10 super kicks out of 5, which makes no sense. But I got you, bro. I feel your energy. You really, really loved it. You really, really loved it. Okay, so for me, bro, my standards are very high, and I'm gonna be honest. It's based on the fact that the Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view. So I have to say that I already go into it with like extremely high expectations. And that doesn't mean that I expect them to bring back like some super mega star every single year, or that they should, they didn't bring in Okada. Okada just ended his deal with, New Japan. How come that? Of course, I wanted to see some of those things, but what really does it for me is that it's not a cluster, okay? And the women's Royal Rumble was a freaking cluster. I think when me and the boys were sitting up in the suite watching it, we counted 4 wrestlers in a row at one point that came in and had a botch. And I think they broke that chain. If you guys want to go back and verify what I'm saying here, the 4 women leading up to Zoe Stark, okay, all had an ugly entrance. I mean, it was sloppy. So, I'm looking out for those things, and it's because I did commentary in professional wrestling for close to 5 years, and I have a ton of friends that are in the business, and I watch wrestling every single week. So I'm a little bit more critical. The sloppiness was there in the women's match, not as much as the men's match, but the men's match wasn't as exciting, and nor did we get like at least the annual Kofi spot. His exit from the Royal Rumble was extremely unceremonious. And other than the R-Truth stuff, I just don't remember going, oh man, I'm going to remember that moment for a long time. I mean, is there a moment in that? I'm throwing it back to you before I give my score here, but was there a moment that you're like, Royal Rumble 2024 is going to stick out to me forever because, and it just, I don't know. Sorry, John, go ahead. There wasn't?
No, there really wasn't a moment like that.
Jade's debut, maybe, if I'm going to force it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to force one, then I mean, that would probably be about the best moment.
Andrade came back. Personally, Andrade coming back is exciting for me and Braun, but I'm talking about the Hardys. The Hardys are back, or Edge. Oh my God, it's Edge. And it doesn't, listen, and people go, Night Owl, you just said it doesn't have to be guys. No, bro, what about when AJ Styles came? That wasn't like a return. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that Royal Rumble where AJ came back. I remember that Royal Rumble when the Hardys, like there are certain moments, bro. That, okay, and I'll give it to you, champ. Congrats to the new FWC heavyweight champion, but I don't know, bro. Listen, my score is a 3. Now, mind you, 2.5 is average, like dead center. 2.5 is like, I'm indifferent. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more than that. And why I'm gonna give it a little bit more than that is gonna make your head explode, Hoss. But I gotta keep it a buck. You know what impressed me the most? Logan Paul. Logan Paul. This dude, he's not a flash in the pan. You want to dismiss him. You want to throw him out like yesterday's stale-ass Chinese food. But, bro, he keeps delivering every single time he goes out there. Now, he's working with Kevin. It's Kevin. One of the best ever. But, bro, the fact that kid can still get her attention, work in the ring, and this isn't really what he does full-time. I mean, it just continues to impress me. And I think people have given him his flowers and Bad Bunny and Ronda, but that crop, that Ronda, Bad Bunny, Logan, I don't think we've ever seen that. And people, Kurt Angle, yeah, but he wasn't a celebrity. He was an athlete. He was a dedicated wrestler, an Olympian. And maybe Ronda was that too, in a sense, in MMA. She's a pure athlete, but she's also already in movies before she came to the WWE. So she'd had at least a snippet of that. Expendables. Come on, guys. Stay with me. So I'm going to end it by saying this. They could have done so much more. It was only 4 matches, which I get it. You got to give the Royal Rumbles their spotlight. But man, once again, the Intercontinental Championship left off of a pay-per-view. Once again, the Tag Team Championships left off a pay-per-view. But what do we get? We get the U.S. title. And it's salvaged by whom? Logan freaking Paul. I never thought I'd say it. It's unbelievable to me. And then the predictability of what I think should have been the main event, the World Heavyweight Championship should always be the main event. Call me old school. It was the most predictable match of the night. How can a fatal 4-way, which is designed to be unpredictable, be the most predictable match of the night? You did exactly what you knew was going to happen. Syko was going to come out, then Jimmy was going to come out, and then Paul, and the whole deal that they've been doing for the last 3 years. And I love the bloodline. I'm not one of those people that thinks that they're overdone, that it's time to move on from the bloodline. I think there's a lot to still milk out of that cow, but it has gotten stagnant. I'll say that. So it's a 3 for the Night Owl. Hate me if you want. I had a great time. If I hadn't been with my boys, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. If I was by myself, bro, I would have been like this. There's some bullshit. You wasted a spot with JD McDonough. You wasted a spot with Pat McAfee. You kind of wasted a spot with Carlito. I mean, dog, stop playing with me, man. I literally went out and got Peacock. Not this. I mean, this isn't me, but I'm sure somebody is saying this somewhere. I literally signed up for Peacock just for this shit. What? I'm glad that's not me, bro. I had a great time. And I was having an FWWC match. Breaking kayfabe completely here. That made it better. But if it was just the Royal Rumble standing alone, I mean, John, are you going to go on Peacock 10 years from now and go back and watch this Royal Rumble? I don't think so.
No, probably not.
Nah. Unless you want to see your boy Philip. then you could go back, but I don't know if that's going to happen either.
and
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Will bringing up Braun Strowman. I mean, not Strowman. Braun
Breaker.
He, if you believe the rumor mill, he wasn't supposed to be in the match anyway. He actually was replacing Brock Lesnar in the match, is what all the rumor mill's saying. Personally, I thought that was probably Pat McAfee that was supposed to be replacing him, but so that to bring that up, that's a moment that wasn't even supposed to happen. So it's funny that people throw out there that one of the biggest moments to them was something that wasn't supposed to happen at all.
I can't say I disagree. Now, am I happy? Absolutely. And I like Brock. I'm a Brock guy. I'm a Paul Heyman guy, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, the new talent, it's a must. I think Breaker went out there, did a great job. I was really having a good time because Sonny loves Braun Breaker, John. And so he's out there, he's suplexing people. I'm like, this guy looks like the ultimate warrior. suplex, spear, suplex, spear. I'm like, I don't know if this dude could do all that much, bro. I really don't know if he could do all that much. But Breaker, I think, okay, I'm going to be fair. He's young. He's very talented. But I'm just afraid about when they have to give this man a microphone. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. He's hyper talented. But they're going to have to put him with somebody. With Ellering, with Heyman, I don't know. But, bro, them promos, they ain't it. And I would probably say the same thing about my guy Carmelo Hayes. He came on, even on, I think he was on Friday, the Friday before Royal Rumble, and the reaction he got really wasn't all that impressive. So, I don't know, bro. It's a 3 for me. It's a 3. Breaker was there, and a great point by you. Like, one of the best moments was something that they ended up pivoting and being forced to do so. Yeah, pat on the back for yourself, because that's a great point. I did enjoy it, though. Like I said, Brock not being there wasn't a disappointment for me, and I'm glad they gave the kid the spotlight. I'm just afraid, not about when they give him the spotlight, but I'm going to be afraid when they give him the microphone. And like, all right, Braun, just keep it simple, buddy. Just, Braun, just keep it simple. Don't, hey, listen, no adding, no math. No. Oh, my bad, bro. My bad. I'd be going too far. There you go. Go ahead, John. What are we doing next? I'm losing my mind over here.
So while we're waiting, we still have time to hit a few more high spots here. So
I'm down for that. I did see a comment pop back up. Do we want to throw that up real quick? Yo, my man MEP. Yo, my man MEP's there. All right, let's throw his comment up here and talk about that real quick. MEP, what's up, baby? Welcome to the show once again. Longtime member of the Wrestle Talk family, my guy, Michael Earl Pam. Great guy. Awesome YouTube channel. I think he's like way above over 500-600 subscribers. My man's killing. He might even be to 1,000. He's killing us. I'll tell you that much. Hello, guys. Just want to talk about Jade Cargill's performance at the Rumble. She did a fantastic job. You know what? I'm ready to give some flowers, but I'll let Hoss go first. Hoss, thoughts on Jade Cargill? I know she's an impressive specimen, but what'd you think about her in-ring acumen?
Yeah, I thought she was phenomenal in the Rumble. You know, the way she just came out and she looked dominant, and I just really enjoyed seeing it. I'm glad to see they finally decided to utilize her. I had been saying, you know, just a few weeks ago, you know, they brought her in, people kind of forgot about her, and then now here come the Rumble, would they bring her out? So some people didn't want to see her come out at the Rumble. They thought that that might actually ruin her debut to do it at the Rumble, but I think it actually worked out very well. And you know, the way she just picked up Nia and threw her right out, you know, she made her look strong, and just really looking forwards to see them building on that from here, you know.
Yeah, and you know what? I can do nothing but completely agree with you. I think she absolutely looked the part. It just, you know, as much as people like to compare her to Bianca, I certainly get more Charlotte vibes from her. Just the presence, the prestige, the eloquence, the you know, the broad shoulders and the big, you know, elegant, you know, always walking, you know, that I get that feeling from Jade. And I always worry about her mobility because, you know, when you think of real strong bodybuilder types, you don't necessarily think of them as being supremely agile, but she is, bro. Like she is. She was moving around the edge of the ring there, and even the spot that she took to get eliminated was really impressive. Just rock solid, and that just speaks to when you have high-level talent with high-level training. I will talk no trash on AEW. I don't know anything about their development program. But I can say this with at least a little certainty. I think WWE's is probably far and away the best wrestling development program in the world. They bring in talent that never even seen a wrestling ring before and turn them into Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty phenomenal. So Jay was impressive. I actually like her on the mic. I know some people don't. And at this point, the way that she presented herself, you could really do a million things with her. You're not boxed into, oh, she's got to be this or she's got to be that, or, you know, we got to line her with this or that. Because I remember my man Sonny and I were going back and forth about, you know, he thought she should go to Alpha Academy. And I was like, nah, bro, she should probably go with Lashley. And when immediately he was like, oh, it's a racial thing. You're making it racial. I'm like, dog, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Just like I believe Mishin fits perfectly with AJ Styles and Luke Gallows and them boys, right? Because they got that like that New Japan energy, that, you know what I'm saying? They got that energy going. So Jade is imposing like Bobby Lashley, you know. She's a sharp dresser like Montez Ford and you know, those guys. You know, even Cedric Alexander and and the previous iteration, with MVP, they were always real tight with it, real clean, real business-like. Like, can you imagine her with Alpha Academy hanging out with Otis? I can't. I don't see it. But the beauty of it, though, is that you could do whatever you want with Jade Cargill. So great call out, MEP. Jade is awesome. That's somebody I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing progress. And the sky is absolutely the limit, man. I think she could go to the top very, very quickly, or they could do a slow burn, and I'd still be just as intrigued, John. I'm going to be honest about Jade Cargill. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and Will thinks that they should have her versus Bianca at Mania, but I don't think you'll get that. I really don't. I think they're more so probably going to use the Rumble as a catapult for Nia and Jade. Just put those two together because they're both supposed to be the powerhouses of the women's division. Plus, that's your face and heel against each other, whereas Bianca and Jade, you'd have face versus face.
I gotcha. Going back to that. No, that's fair. It's very fair. I guess I'll ask you one thing. When we were watching the show, I can't remember what it was. Somebody called out Andre Hogan when the Jade Cargill Nia Jax spot happened. Do you see it? You kind of picture it like the Hogan Andre? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put Nia Jax in the same class as Andre the Giant. For a lot of reasons.
No, she's no Andre, but I do see where the reference comes from.
Yeah, somebody else said, "Hey, what we were talking about? What do you do with Nia to get her to the next level?" Somebody said, let her continue to be an ass kicker, give her more mic time, and maybe allow her to be a little bit more revealing. I guess I would say, to entice some of the younger, some of the younger viewers. You know what I mean? Like maybe a little bit more, like just a little bit more provocative, I guess is what they were saying. And that's not personally what I'm looking for when I watch wrestling, but I can see how it will work because at the end of the day, sex sells. I mean, sex sells, bro. That's the oldest shit in the book, right? So,
well, when they go to Netflix, anything's possible.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay, now we are actually making it racial because now we're putting Nia in the bloodline. It just fits. I hate that. I mean, what are you gonna do? It just fits. Man, that's so good. Okay, guys, we're right at the 8 o'clock mark. I do want to hit a quick sponsor spot, and then we're going to take a brief break, maybe 2 minutes or so. Let me and John, refill our waters, use the restroom if we need to, because we want to make sure we can give our 2 featured guests of the evening all of our undivided attention. So, John, why don't you go ahead and cue us up? Let's go ahead and get ready to take just a brief, maybe 2 minute or so break, and then we'll come back because we're just a few minutes away from the Micro Brawlers joining the show, Discovery Channel's very own, and we may even have another High Spots topic coming up. So let me go ahead and hit the sponsors, and then you take us to break, okay? Can you do that?
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, go ahead and put those up for me, and I'll take care of that. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we adore you all, and we're grateful for all the members of the Wrestle Talk Podcast family, but I'd be remiss if we didn't thank all of our wonderful sponsors, starting with Royal Mills Transportation, my guy DeJuan Mills, my brother, Nobleman's Barber Lounge. You don't need to ask for Pete anymore. Any of the guys there will take care of you. Just tell them the Wrestle Talk Podcast sent you. Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall. My man DBD putting on music shows. My man St. Gary's family got the arcade going, doing big things. I-70 Sports Media, Jeremy, you know what's up. Hey, we had a good time during that challenge, Hoss. I know you can hear me in the back. That trivia challenge was crazy. I cost my team the whole entire deal. But, man, it was fun as hell. If you guys haven't gone back, it was the last episode we did in 2023. That was a fun show. It was kind of a Jeopardy style. The technology was not cooperating, but, man, that shit was fun. So make sure you guys go back and check that out. But anyway, shout out to I-70 Sports Media. Shout out to Little Popeye Designs. Shout out to the FWWC. And again, all of our sponsors continue to contribute and help us move forward here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast. And if you want to become a sponsor or know somebody who would love to be sponsored, please let us know. And if not, just go ahead and shoot us a message, and we'll get you all set up with a Wrestle Talk Podcast Tumblr. I know there's a lot of you out there that still don't have them. It's $20 just with our logo. You want to put your name on it's another $5, and then whatever the shipping cost is to your place lasts a lot longer than a t-shirt. You can take it with you anywhere, and it literally is a Yeti quality cup, nothing less than a Yeti quality cup, because that's how we do it. I mean, you guys remember, man? You guys remember the mug? I mean, this is bar quality, baby. We're not doing nothing half-ass over here. So make sure you hit us up. We'll get you everything you need so you can get yourself your very own Wrestle Talk podcast tumbler. We're taking a 2-minute break. We're going to hit an overlay and some music, and we'll be back with the second half of episode 467. You heard? You can let that play in the background real low. I like that, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 467 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Everybody who's been tuning in, we got nothing but love and respect for all of you. And guess what, baby? The best part of the show is in front of us, because just a few minutes from now, we are bringing in the stars of the newest hit show on Discovery. That's right, y'all. We got Miss Pinky Shortcake and the one and only Syko. Woo! of the micro wrestlers, baby. The show is called Big Little Brawlers on Discovery every Tuesday. As a matter of fact, they're going live right after the Wrestle Talk podcast tonight. So make sure you don't miss it. And in case we happen to run a little late, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that button, hit record, the DVR, and then show them love on social, man. They deserve it, baby. Wrestling is finally getting the spotlight that it deserves, and we got to make sure that we pay it forward, man. These guys are breaking ground, bro. They're on Discovery. The show is highly entertaining. I mean, if you love wrestling, why wouldn't you want to support? I mean, I think it's a fairly obvious question. These guys are representing professional wrestling. And here's what we didn't mention earlier, John. Ivar, one of the members of the Micro Brawlers, actually is a longtime member of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. Originating out of St. Louis, working for WLW and various others. Our guy, Ivar, man, Dylan Hiley, that's our bro. We love you. God bless you. So glad you're doing well, man. He found his home down there. I remember when he found his home, John, he was like, hey, Night Owl, guess what, bro? I'm doing it. I'm moving. He's married. He's on TV. My man is happy. God is good, man. God is good. What can I say?
Yeah, I've been watching that show every week, and just look forward to seeing it again this week. And it's been a pretty good show. I've really enjoyed it, and they do pull the curtains back a little bit, and let you see some of the what happens backstage and stuff. And I find it to be very interesting. And unfortunately, last year when micro wrestling was here in my area, I did not get to make that show, but I believe it's May. They're going to be here in my area again this year, and I'm already starting to make plans to be there. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys live in person, and it's been a lot of fun watching them on TV, and really look forward to getting to talk with them tonight and just get to really know a lot more about them. So
I know a lot of people here are excited to have Pinky and Syko. So let's do this. We haven't done this before, and I think it just makes sense for us to do this, guys. If you're here for that interview, please drop your questions now, because John and I have a ton of questions, but hey, this is all about the Wrestle Talk podcast family. So as far as I'm concerned, if you guys fill up the chat box with questions, we'll start with your questions. If you guys got questions, John, I'm willing to put my questions to the side for the members of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. I've heard rumors. I heard that maybe Syko's from the area. We're going to ask him about it. But Syko. I'm sorry, Syko, my mistake. My mistake. Syko's from the area here in Kansas City. We're going to see if we can verify that. It's just a rumor that I heard. Okay? But at the end of the day, this podcast is for the people. Our hashtag is Let's Talk Wrestling. So if you guys got questions for the Micro Brawlers, for Pinky and Syko, let's do it. Bring them on, drop them in the comment section, and we'll start with you. And if not, that's fine, because we've got plenty of questions amongst us. We're good, baby. We're ready. Right, John? We were excited for this one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we have already had, one request. We can't say who it was from, but we do have one request already that we're supposed to ask about. So,
Oh, okay. We have an anonymous question asker. I like it. I like that. People appreciate anonymity. Well, we got El Diablo. The champ is in the house. Okay. The Metro champ is in the house. He likes his anonymity. I mean, he's under a mask, so I respect it, and I'm obviously Mexican culture is my culture. So, people want their privacy and I respect it. But yeah, whether you want to be announced or not, if you got questions for Miss Shortcake and for Syko, then bring them on. Bring them on. We're ready for you. Now, John, I know we did have at least one more Hotspots topic here for tonight. Let's go ahead and extend a little bit until we hear from our guests. They should be here in just a couple of minutes. But let's keep the conversation going, baby, because so far the topics we've had, excelente, amigo. Excelente. Let's hit the next one.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and hit that randomizer again and see what it's going to bring up this time.
This time we're going to be surprised.
I've even seen one that I know is in that randomizer somewhere that was brought up in the comment section. So let's Let's see.
Come on.
I think the randomizer got stuck.
Ooh, randomizer out of whack. Out of whack. What's the question, buddy?
All right. Well, we see the poster up there, so
I'm already excited about this topic, man. One of the few interesting and exciting surprises during last week's Royal Rumble. We had seen Mickie James before because somebody's like, oh my gosh, TNA's finally working with the WWE. No, whoa. Slow it down. We saw Mickie James work with the WWE when she was in TNA. So let's take it easy. But Jordynne Grace did show up for the very first time. And the question reads as follows. Jordynne Grace took part in the WWE Royal Rumble last night, or I should say last Saturday. Who benefits more from her appearance? John, this is a hell of a question. TNA or WWE?
You know that actually is a tough one because TNA, they are on a roll lately. They have been in everybody's mouths. Everybody's talking TNA. So to have TNA,
by the way, she's been in everybody's. Hey, I have to say this. I'm sorry, John. Saying she's been in everybody's mouths is crazy. You gotta pause yourself when you say those innuendos are wild, John. You gotta take it easy, my guy. He said she's been in everybody's mouth. You gotta relax, my guy. Why do you think I say pause?
I said TNA's been in everybody's mouth.
Oh, TNA's been in everybody's mouth. Okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about Jordynne Grace.
Got him! Got him!
Wow, okay, fine. Maybe that was just my imagination.
Got him! Got him!
Jeez Louise, John. You got to keep me out of trouble, man. Go ahead. Sorry, brother.
Dude, there ain't enough time in a day to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah, it's facts.
But yeah, so with everybody talking about TNA, to have their knockout champion come out and have TNA on the same screen as WWE, that's big no matter what. And so TNA, they really got a lot more eyes towards their product from that. So from that aspect of it, they really did benefit. But for WWE's side of it, once again, they opened the forbidden door. This is only, I think, the second time I've really seen them open that forbidden door. And so it really tends to show the change in WWE and the change in their thinking and their mentality. And so I think that basically shows an evolution in WWE. So, from that standpoint, they benefited from it. So I really think they both tend to benefit a lot from that. I'm not sure which one really gets the most benefit out of it, other than the fact that TNA is going to get more eyes on their product because of this. I truly believe they will.
Okay, so then let me ask you this: did they see any sort of benefit when this happened a couple of years ago with Mickie James?
I think the benefit they got with Mickie James, honestly, was I think there were people who said, wow, Impact's still around? Because at that point they were Impact. And I think that was the benefit, was Impact's still around? I don't think a lot of people knew that. Now people know that TNA is rebooting. TNA is really making a comeback. And so with that, I believe that they are going to see their viewership go up, just because I think it's going to drive more eyes to the product. And so I think they are going to see some benefit from it.
Well, you know what? I absolutely love the optimism. And here's something that just I can't help but be excited about. We've gotten to a point now, John, where there's so much great wrestling that you don't have to necessarily subscribe to one particular style or even one particular promotion. We're fortunate enough in this day and age to be able to dabble a little bit in this, or we have our favorites over here and we have our favorites over there. But when you see a crossover, whether they do it every year or every other year or every 3 years or every 5 or whatever, I think it's encouraging, because what does it tell us, right? Like we both live in areas where there are multiple promotions. So clearly we know that there tends to be some tension occasionally between promotions in certain areas. There may be some tension between guys that maybe used to work a certain promotion together and then one guy left and started his own up the road. So when I see, even at the highest level, promotions working together, whether it be New Japan and AEW or TNA and WWE, it's something I'm always encouraged by. Now, who benefits more? I tend to think it's pretty much mutually beneficial. I think it ultimately comes down to what do the fans of each promotion get out of it? Here's what I think it is. I think the WWE got one of the wow moments that they were looking for in Royal Rumble, and they accomplished that. And not only was she a name that came out, because that alone in cases gone by has been sufficient. They're like, oh, look who came back. And then they get in there and maybe, and I don't want to be disrespectful because I have a tremendous amount of respect for everybody who steps in the squared circle, but they're maybe not what you expected. They don't deliver at the level that you would have liked to see them deliver. Let me just say it that way, right? But with Jordynne Grace, I think she not only had the wow effect for some of us more hardcore committed wrestling fans, but then when she got in there, she was a wow even to the casual, right? You look at the casual and the casual goes, man, I've not seen that before. Very similar to what we see with our guests that are coming up here in just a matter of moments. Like, not only do you see them and you're like, wow, but then they start to do what they do, and then you're like, wow again. And that's what I think we got from Jordynne on Saturday. I mean, it was awesome. It was really awesome. But, you know, so I would say that the benefit is pretty much equally split, because you get more eyes over on TNA, which is what you always want. And then the WWE got at least one more wow moment. And really, she delivered the double wow, because she came out and looked like $1 million. She looks healthier and better than she probably ever has in her career. And then she also came in and delivered. As impressive as Jade was, and I know we had that conversation, and you know how much I love women's wrestling, but as impressive as she was, I think that Jordynne Grace was equally as impressive. Maybe she wasn't the one that threw out Nia Jax, but she did some cool stuff. Am I wrong?
No, I agree 100%. And, you know, now last year when they opened that Forbidden Door, you know, they brought in somebody that all WWE fans knew because she had been there. This time, if you didn't know TNA, you probably wouldn't have known who she was. Now, honestly, since TNA's been blowing up here recently, you know, I started checking it out more, so I actually knew who it was for once. But
way to go, John. See, I told you the podcast is awesome for that reason, because when you come on the Wrestle Talk podcast, as long as you love wrestling a little bit, you're going to learn something about a new promotion, a new talent, a new wrestler, a new ring announcer. Shoot, we've even talked to audio-visual people here on the show before. Like, there's always something to learn in this business. That's why people stick around their whole life, because it's not like you ever figure it out or you're done learning, right? So you're a perfect example of that. Perfect example.
You know, I think a lot of people, even though she hadn't been in WWE before, they knew who she was just because of the way TNA's been blowing up lately. And, you know, so I think that was a smart move on the part of WWE to open that door again and to have her come in and have it be somebody who is not your normal WWE superstar that everybody's seen before. So
absolutely,
really
she was unique, and she delivered inside the ring, which is what's most important. So absolutely love that topic. I love all the feedback we got from the listeners. Thanks you to all, guys. We got people across all platforms. We got Facebook, We got folks on X. We've got folks on YouTube. And to all of you who will end up watching this replay, which is a large majority of our audience, thank you guys. Thank you guys for supporting the Wrestle Talk podcast. We do it for episodes like this. And believe it or not, we're so close to episode 500. We've been doing this for so long. It's been such an enjoyable process. And it just keeps getting better and better. And like I was saying before, John, I feel like we learn something new on every episode, which is incredible. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, and looking at the schedule, I believe if things go as they should, probably end of September we'll be hitting that episode 500 mark.
Wow, man. Unbelievable. Okay, well, you know what? As exciting that is, as exciting as that is, I got something that's going to blow even episode 500 out of the water, John, because our guests are in the green room. They are hydrated. They've been fed. They've been treated like the stars that they are. And if you would allow me, sir, I would love to do the introduction for these two wonderful talents. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, go for it, buddy. We looking forward to this.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to give you this long, bloated introduction. All I'm going to say is that I take particular delight in interviewing people that are innovators, people that do things that very, very, very few people in this entire world that can do. And there's no question in my mind that Pinky Shortcake and Syko are those two people. You watch what they're doing now on TV on Discovery. These guys have been doing this. They didn't start yesterday. I think the world is just now starting to uncover them. Now, me, I've been a fan for a long time, so I've been to some of their shows, okay? But at the end of the day, now the world is finding out that talent comes in so many different shapes and sizes. You just have to open up your eyes and open up your heart and willing to give that a chance. So here tonight, it is our distinct pleasure to welcome in for the very first time our illustrious guests. Ladies and gentlemen, make noise for the one and only Pinky Shortcake and Syko!
I like it. I like it too.
Yeah.
Come in.
All right, bring it down. Bring it down, baby. Bring it down. Let's get into it. Welcome, 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 guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
What a freaking treat this is for myself and my partner, John Haas. Again, thank you guys for being here. How are you feeling tonight? Everybody good?
Good.
Good.
Everyone's good.
All right, so I have to ask a question right off the bat. Who's watching the baby? Who's watching the baby?
She's in there on the tablet right now in the other room.
Okay. Awesome. I know we've been watching. Okay. And that is, to me, probably one of the most intriguing parts of everything that you guys are doing, watching how you do what you do while being a family. And we'll get into that a little bit more here in just a few seconds. But I want to say, as a father of two girls and a boy, as a matter of fact, I'm already a grandfather. I'm only 39. All right. It's crazy. It's crazy. But to know that you guys do what you do while keeping your focus on what's more important in life, which is family, to me makes you guys even that much more impressive. Like, yeah, that's freaking incredible. But John, why don't you go ahead and jump in, man? Because I could go on forever, man. I'm so excited to have these two on, bro. So go ahead and take it away, bud.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys here. Like Renee said, we've been watching the show since week one, and just so happy to have you guys join us. And so, just to start, one thing I like to do is, for each one of you guys, what's something that America should know about you guys? And it doesn't have to be wrestling related. It can be if you want it to be, but just what's something everybody should know about you? Each one of you can answer that.
That I really do love wrestling, but I love my family more.
Okay.
Basically the same, yeah. I mean, I do love what I do. I wish I could continue to do it full time all the time, but family's more important, and sometimes family comes first. So
All right. Well, one thing I've wondered, watching the show, we've seen where there's been, uh, some things that have come up on the business side of things. And how do you tend to separate the business side of things from your home life side of things, so one doesn't really bleed over into the other?
I would say, we're just now kind of figuring that out. It's hard, when we're both so deep into the business. And when you're a wrestler, you know that the business is your life. You're always on the road. I mean, it's 24/7 when you're a wrestler. So it's been actually kind of hard to be able to separate those two. But here lately, we've kind of figured that out. Having filming around, I feel like, has been able to help us a little bit because we've been able to see ourselves in like another person's view.
I think what's helped us a lot as too is that when my mom came out, she was able to watch Aubrey and be more hands on with her and make sure she's like fully taken care of, up to the needs of her. But other than that, we're not now. It's a lot easier now that my mom's came out and helped us for sure.
Definitely.
Okay. And Pinky, a question I had for you is, with watching the show, one of the things that's come out in the show is that you've had some issues with trust in the past. And so in a sport that a lot of your spots tend to revolve around trust with the person you're working with, how does that how I'm trying to figure out how I wanted to word this now. How does that hinder your in ring at all, or how does that play with your in ring?
I think more so my trust issues come along the line of with me and Syko, not necessarily with others as much. Um, and not only that, but I make sure that I get in there with the new divas and that we're training and we're working on correcting all of our new moves that we're doing. But with my abandonment problems, I really think my trust really relies, my issues with that is with me and Syko, not necessarily with all my other opponents.
Okay. Well,
Can
I'll
I
tell you
just
what.
comment on that, John? I want to comment on that. I think that's such a great question from you, because I could see the correlation of like if you're somebody that struggles with trust, how you would trust someone to catch you in that spot. But I think there are definitely different types of trust. There's
For
that trust
sure.
that you have with someone in the ring, and then there's the trust that you share with a couple. And me being married for a long time, I understand what that's like when you're supposed to be walking into your place of solitude, right? It's home. This is where it's supposed to be safe. And sometimes we don't always feel that at home, and it can be tough. But here's what I will say, because I wasn't going to allow this topic to escape us. Like, y'all made it though. Like, you guys are together, and whatever that was, at least for now, is behind you. And just going based off the show, I can see how much I'm gonna use a lot of wrestling references, but I can see you guys are like truly a tag team.
Yeah, definitely.
I know my wife and I know my wife and I are always like, all right, you might give up one day, but that day I can't give up. So as long as we don't ever give up both on the same day, then we're always going to be all right. And to see you guys survive this shark-infested business, because let's be honest, you guys have been doing this a long time. You know how wrestling is.
Yeah.
And for you guys to survive it as a couple, that's crazy. Crazy. That shit doesn't really happen in wrestling. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So that's dope. That's dope.
Definitely,
John,
definitely.
go ahead. You guys want to comment on that? By all means, please.
I mean, it's definitely been a struggle. I mean, it hasn't been easy. And sometimes, like you said, there's days where I want to give up and she doesn't. And there's days where she wants to give up and I don't. Some days I can't give it my all, and some days she can't give it her all. But us just pushing through just a little more for another day has really kept us together.
For sure, for sure.
You guys are inspiration. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Come on.
Oh, by the way,
Albert,
if
come here real quick.
Come here.
hey, yeah, if the hey, we're family friendly. Bring the baby on. They don't we don't got no problem.
Say hi.
Bro. Oh my gosh, how old is she now?
2.5.
So how long? Oh my gosh.
Two.
So she was 1 when we started filming.
Right, that's what I was gonna ask you. So you guys started filming what, like over a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago?
No, about a year ago.
Oh my gosh, yo, the ratings just went through the roof, John. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, honey. Bye.
Yeah, we're gonna go back over here. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
She's gonna put her back in the room with the baby.
Dude, I don't know how y'all keep up. That's crazy. That's a lot.
Like she said, we have a lot of help. A lot of the wrestlers, one thing that you learn about being a wrestler is the wrestlers that you're with, they become your brothers. And they've all stepped up as uncles. And anytime me and Pinky were out there training or wrestling and we didn't have a sitter, they all stepped up. And she looks at them all like she's your uncle.
So she's probably got a million uncles that could whoop a lot of ass, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah, you don't really want to mess with my uncles. My uncles literally fight people every weekend. Yeah, dude. Yeah, she's got her security system in place.
Ivar says she's taller than he is.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like about an inch shorter now.
And I say this respectfully, but a lot prettier too. Sorry,
yeah,
Syko.
definitely.
Yo, a quick shout out here to one of the uncles, Uncle Ivar, who is a long-time member of the Wrestle Talk family. Bro, I know Ivar from the St. Louis days, WOW. We done we done some stuff together, man. Just an awesome guy. Another brother, right? Another brother.
Yeah, another brother, definitely. He's
Dude,
been there since day one. Me and Ivar actually, when Ivar joined the micro wrestling, I was only there for 2 weeks before he joined, and me and Ivar were living in the back of the microtorium together. So me, Aubrey, the baby, we were all living at the microtorium when we first joined. So it's crazy how far we've all come within this 3 years.
No, it absolutely has. And I'll tell you what, just from, because I know you guys have had some tours here in the Midwest all the way to KC and stuff like that. So I'm familiar, but I'm just so blown away to know that you guys do as much traveling as you do and that you're able to still maintain this family unit. I really can't get over it. It's probably the most impressive thing as far as I'm concerned. But John, I want to stake your thunder, bro, because I got my own questions, but go ahead and jump back in here, bud.
Now, one thing I was going to ask is, you guys mentioned about the filming and having the camera crews following you around. So with the television crews following you and filming just about every aspect of your life, how has that changed your lives and your home life during the filming of Big Little Brawlers?
It was actually, which is kind of weird, but the filming actually was almost therapeutic because, like we said, we got to see it from an outside perspective. So the days that I was actually acting fully psycho or getting mad over nothing, or she was acting fully psycho and getting upset or lack of trust, I feel like having the cameras around were therapeutic, because it showed me myself in a different perspective.
And it made us talk about things that we might not have brought up because we didn't know how to communicate about it properly. So I feel like it allowed us to open up a little more to each other than what we were necessarily able to before in the past.
That's incredible. I can only imagine is it being like really invasive, but you having to sit there and wrestle with your own thoughts and feelings in front of the cameras. I could see that. John, another great question, man. That's awesome.
Definitely.
So, all right. Well, let me go ahead and throw it over to Renee here. I don't want to take up all of your time and he not get his questions in. I know he's chomping at the bit here to ask a few.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you guys saw how excited I was when you first came on. I just I love wrestling, but I also love like inspiration and things that help me go, oh man, they did it, I could do it, you know. And you guys clearly are that for me at least. So let me start off with this question. So I know a lot of people are going to want to ask you guys about the TV show because that's kind of like the hot thing, but I'm a wrestling fan. You get what I'm saying? Like I love the indie shows, bro. I love going, you know, up the road and, you know, paying the $10 and getting the stale hot dog and the cold popcorn and all that. So talk to us a little bit about that journey, like just out on the road, some of the highlight matches and rivalries you guys have had either together against each other or even against other opponents. Because I know that, you know, at least you, Syko, I know this isn't like your first time around the block, right? Like you've been doing this thing. So can you talk to us a little bit about that journey even before the show and some of the highlights or even lowlights that you guys have had out on the road just doing your thing?
You know, you've been in it, what, how long?
I've been doing it for this year will be going on 11 years. But I was born into the business. My dad was in WWF. My dad was one of Jerry Lawler's Three Kings. He was Queasy. And then my mom did independent wrestling a little bit. So I mean, I was born into it, but I've been doing it for almost 11 years now.
And you came off the indie.
He said, I got it. Yeah. I got it right here. I got it. It's right here. It's in our veins, baby.
Before I became a micro wrestler full time, I actually I tag team with Mr. Fitness Slim Trimmins. He was one of my tag partners. He was the one I did a lot of training with. I worked with Lady Victoria as well a lot. So, I mean, I worked the indie scenes and then I became the full-time micro wrestler.
Dude, that's so sick. So you basically have it in your blood. You were born and bred in the business.
Yep.
So how long did it take you to actually take to it? Because, like, a lot of people are born into it. They're like, nah, I'm not trying to do all that. That's not really me. Or did you just really not even have a choice?
I had a choice. I started really when I was really young. I would ring the bell for my dad, and then as I got older, I would walk him out as his manager. But when I really started getting into it, like full time, right after I graduated high school.
That's dope. All right, so you guys are vets for sure. So I'm guessing after those 11 years on the road, Pinky, did you have anything crazy ever happen to you? You ever get stuck at a Buc-ee's somewhere and have to sleep in the gas station overnight? Or anything wild like that? Because, you know, being out on the road, no matter what you're doing, something wild's about to happen. And by the way, we are a family show, but we tell all kinds of stories on here. We've had $1 Million Man on here, Savio. So whatever stories y'all got, bring it, man.
So all right. So she's been in 11 years. I've been doing it about 8 years. I met her 2 to 3 years in wrestling. Okay. Well, once me and her started dating, she didn't like riding on the tour bus with all the other micros. Because a lot of micros don't always keep up with their hygiene or they don't wash their gear and it'll stink on the bus and the whole bus is stinking. So she was like, I'm not being stuck in this bus a whole year smelling this. So we started driving our own car. Well, it was a 2-door car. And so we just put the seats down in the back. So we got a little micro bed, a little dwarf bed in the back, right? We sleep on the side of the road at a rest stop. And it's like 6:30 in the morning. I wake up from the bright sun. So I'm like, okay, time to start driving. So I start driving. She's laying in the back. She's freezing because I rolled down the window. So she takes the blanket and rolls up like a burrito. Okay. Well, I kind of went through a stop sign, like the California stop where you don't really fully stop.
Yeah.
Well, the cop got me and he walked up to the car and like, I knew what I did wrong. So like, I already get on my insurance, my license, and I go to hand it at the cop. And I was like, my bad, dude, I know. And he goes, who's that? And he looks back at Ashley rolled up like a burrito. And I go, that's my girlfriend. And he goes, and at that point, he grabbed his gun and he goes, she got ID? And at that moment, I realized this cop thinks I murdered my little dwarf girlfriend and got her rolled up and back. And I was like, Pinky, wake up. Give the cop your ID. Give the cop your ID. Oh, man. Oh, that was one of the craziest stories.
That was.
I could definitely tell by his body language. He was like, does she got ID? And I was like, yeah, dude.
Bro, you yo, that would have been the first thing I would have said. I would have like, yo, that's my girlfriend. So he thought you were Eminem and she was Kim.
Yeah.
Pinky, we're glad you're okay. Pinky, we're all glad you're okay. That's crazy, man. John, what do you think about that, man? That life on the road, right? That's nuts.
Yeah, definitely. I would think about that all the time.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then the craziest part of the thing is actually me and her, our dating story is kind of a fairy tale because she worked with the company that I was working for about 3 weeks before we got shipped to London. And so we were wrestling each other in London, and we actually just started dating in Cardiff,
Wales.
England, I think it's called.
Wales,
Cardiff, Wales.
Yeah. We were just talking about dating earlier. Yeah.
And then we just never stopped hanging out after that.
So you guys had your one night in Cardiff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Dad jokes, my bad, y'all.
It was like a 1 week in UK.
1 week in Wales. I like it. I like it.
It's pretty awesome.
No, that is awesome. I have a similar story. I met my wife in Norcross, Georgia, and neither of us live anywhere close to there. So, but we'll tell that story some other time. So the next question that I had for you guys is, I know you talked a little bit about who trained you and how you got kind of integrated into the business. But early on, did you guys have like inspirations that our audience will know? Like, were you guys watching WWE? Were you guys ECW kids? Like, what was your thing? What kind of made you gravitate to wrestling kind of on a higher level, speaking of some of the bigger promotions?
Man, mine all-time favorite, Jeff Hardy. Like, that was right at the period I was turning like 11, 12. Man, and I was like, dude, I want to fly like that guy does, because they're not one of the bigger guys. I mean, they're tall, but they're slinky, they're skinny. And so, or back then they were at least. And so that's what I always wanted to aspire to. And so once I saw Jeff Hardy wrestle, I was like, I need to wrestle.
You like doing spots like that?
Oh, yeah.
Syko, you like all that, those swanton bombs and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've landed off of I've jumped off the back of tour buses, off of roofs.
He's really psycho. Like,
yeah, shout out North Dakota, by the way. Shout out to North Dakota. Appreciate you guys checking in.
North Dakota.
Tell us that spot. I want to hear about this spot.
No, what I was gonna say is our trainer, Cody Hawk, he had to actually telling me, like, dude, if there's only like 50 people, 100 people at the show, quit flying over the top rope to the outside. There's no reason to do those big spots.
Yo, Cody's a legend, though. I saw him in the show. You guys talk about having a credible trainer. I know some folks that are new to what you guys do are like, oh, it's just a gimmick. I'm like, no, they're working. Like, y'all are doing matches, bro. This ain't the effing circus. I hate to say that shit, but like, y'all are really running matches. You guys are running angles, running rivalries. I'm paying attention. I'm seeing. I'm like, oh, you guys are carrying this across. You know, it's not just like a one-off every single night, which is great. I think that'd probably drive you crazy if like every night was just like a one-off. You're like, man, we can't even build anything. I think it'd probably be fairly unsatisfying, right?
Yeah, definitely. It'd be boring.
Do you guys get to have input in terms of what stories you're telling and who you guys are going against, or is that something that the booker predominantly handles, or is it maybe a little bit of both? I'm curious.
I mean, we get our say, but at the end of the day, it's really what Cody and Jack are saying. I mean, we get our inputs, like, for the most part, but it's really what they say goes. But they're pretty reasonable. If we have our reasons, they'll usually listen to us. But then they have their reasons.
Sounds like they have your best interest at heart, though. It sounds like from what I've seen from the show and even just kind of catching you guys more locally, like, you got some pretty good wrestling minds over there. It's not just a couple of guys with money putting on a show. You know, these guys
definitely.
No, we got good leaderships, from the owners to the trainers to the veterans that have been there for a while, like Little Show. And we got a lot of people who actually care about it and aren't just there for a paycheck. I mean, we're all there for a paycheck, but they actually care in that company.
Gotta love that. And Syko, I gotta ask you this. Maybe this is more of a Pinky question. Maybe it's for both of you guys. Is there ever a spot that somebody had to tell you, Syko, no, like, that's not what we're doing? Like, have you ever tried a spot that maybe was a little bit more than somebody else was comfortable with?
Pinky, you can tell them the spots that so there's spots that, like, Pinky gets told not to do all the time. She's been wrestling, like, the first 5-6 years of her wrestling, there were no other divas, right? So she was only wrestling the guys. And so there'd be some spots that, like, the Bronco Buster and the stink face and the biting of the boys' butts that she would do, that they were like, no, you got to take those out.
And did she?
But
Yeah, I did. I took
for
them
the
out.
most part. But they tried to tell me to like quit jumping on the outside, quit flying from the inside of the rope to the outside of the rope. But I'm not really gonna listen to them.
You're like, Jack, I'm selling tickets, bro. You gotta let me do what I do. I'm selling
that's
tickets,
exactly,
bro.
yeah.
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 Sell some tickets, man. That's sick, man. And you ever get to a point where you start to ask yourself, and that, 8 years, 11 years, you ever get to a point where you start asking yourself, like, okay, at some point, either I've got to change my style, or I may want to think about what happens after wrestling. Have you guys gotten even close to that point yet?
No, not yet. I mean, I don't know about some, especially Ivar, but some of us that are small are kind of fragile, like Ivar, and then some of us that are small, what it's actually done is just made our bones really condense. So, like, I tell people it's hard for me to break a bone. I mean, I fell off a 11-foot roof when I was like 8 years old, and I landed on my back and took a back bump, and then I didn't break a bone or nothing. And so I'm kind of like that bug that you flick and it like goes across the room, but all of a sudden turns back over. Like, so, I mean, once I start feeling it, yeah, but I really haven't started feeling it too much.
What about you, Pinky? Now you're a mom, you got a baby. Obviously, none of us are trying to push anybody into retirement. Let me just be clear, because we love you guys. No, we love you guys, but you're also human beings that think about your future and your family. So is that anything that you ever thought about?
Thought about it. Like, if I go to have another kid, I feel like that's when I'm gonna slow down a little bit. But I also know that with Jack having the building at the Microtorium, that I can work there and still be a family. So I don't know necessarily if I would quit or retire, but I feel like it might slow down a little bit after I do have another kid.
So, are you breaking news here? It sounds like maybe
No.
that's
No. Not another kid anytime soon.
Just putting it in the air.
In the future, I do want one more in the future, but not anytime soon.
Okay. I'm like, I hear that. I'm like, okay, maybe we're breaking some news here now.
No.
Well, when it does happen, I'm sure we'll be the first to know. I'm sure. No, I'm kidding. John, we are only about 10 minutes away from the next episode on Discovery, so we want to make sure everybody can flip over to that. Sherry says, no, not yet. Shout out, Sherry. Grandma in the house. Yeah,
Sherry.
Yeah, we love you, Sherry.
Sherry, my mom.
Sherry's in the house. Hey, Grandma.
That's my mom.
Yeah, Grandma's in the house.
Gigi!
Yeah, Gigi's in the house. What's happening? We love you. Thank you for being here. But anyway, so we want to make sure that we respect the time so people can flip right over to Discovery right after the show is over. So here's what I want to do. You guys have obviously faced each other in the ring a few.
What happened?
Bit of a trivia challenge. We call it the Wrestle Talk Podcast Trivia Challenge. Okay, and usually it's one of us against the guests, but because we know you guys are both highly competitive. If not, you wouldn't be so successful. We would like for you guys to actually face off against each other in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Are y'all down?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see my girl's over there like, yeah, I'm about to get his ass, boy.
Let's go.
She said he's ready. All right, John, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one, bud. You do it so well. Do you have the questions? Yes or no? Let me know if you have them.
No, the questions were sent to you.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's on me then. All right. Well, hang out. And John, who loves you both equally, if there happens to be a tie or something, he will be the one that'll make the judgment as to who called it out first. Okay? You guys okay with that? All right. Yeah. So pretty simple. Here's how it works. Okay. John, we got some music and I'm going to go through the whole thing. It gets kind of corny, guys. Bear with me. Guys in the back, hit the music. You know what to do. Episode 67. Bring it down. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's installment of the world-famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled to be a best 2 out of 3 falls. In a few moments, I will ask 3 particular questions about a professional wrestling topic. Whenever either of you think you know the answer, please simply shout it out. The first to score 2 out of 3 falls will be the winner of tonight's contest. Do you guys understand the rules?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do a test question just to make sure everybody understands the rules. So the first question is, this is just a test question. Who was the winner of this past Saturday's women's WWE Royal Rumble?
Bailey.
Bailey is correct. Syko, you would have scored a point right there.
I forgot her name real quick.
Very close, very close. Yeah, well, listen, these are easy questions most of the time, but when the pressure is on, you guys know it gets a little different, right? The pressure's on. This is more tense, right? Okay, so here we go. Again, the first to score 2 out of 3 falls will be the winner of tonight's contest. Tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast game show category is Wrestling 1, 2, 3. I will give you guys information about 3 sets of professional wrestling numbers. For example, if I said the number of Royal Rumble wins for Cody and Steve Austin, you would answer 5, right? So how many Royal Rumble wins for Steve Austin and Cody Rhodes? The answer would be 5. When you think you know the answer, again, simply shout it out. First person to get 2 out of 3 falls will be tonight's winner. Are you guys ready for question number 1?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1. John, pay attention. It's going to be on you, brother. Okay. Let's start off with something related to the WWE. Okay. The number of wins by The Undertaker at WrestleMania divided by, simple math, the number of Royal Rumble wins of Stone Cold Steve Austin. What is your answer? Again, I'll repeat it. No rush. The number of Royal Rumble, let me correct myself. The number of wins by The Undertaker at WrestleMania divided by the number of Royal Rumble wins by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Would it be 2?
2 is incorrect. One last time on the question. The number of wins by The Undertaker at WrestleMania divided by the number of Royal Rumble wins of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'm just going to guess 5.
That's a lot closer, but incorrect. There's no limit on guesses, guys.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Getting warmer.
So 7?
Very, very close, but incorrect. Pinky?
8?
8 is correct.
Yeah!
Well done. Undertaker, 24 divided by, that's right, divided by 3 Royal Rumble wins by Stone Cold Steve Austin, equaling 8. Well done. Pinky, you're currently up 1 fall to 0. Okay? Question number 2. This may fall in Syko's comfort zone, this next question, I think. Okay? Question number 2. The number of times Dusty Rhodes was NWA World Champion plus the number of times Mankind was the WWF Champion. What is your answer?
Would it be 11?
11 is incorrect. Again, the number of times Dusty Rhodes was NWA World Champion plus the number of times that Mankind was WWF Champion.
How many times is Mankind for it?
I'm not sure.
I want to go with 8 again.
8 is closer, but incorrect.
You better start guessing.
6?
9.
6 is correct. 6 is correct. All right. Pinky is up 2 falls to 0. We're going to see if Syko can avoid the sweep. Come on, bro. You got to stand up for the guys, brother. You got to give us one, dog. Just one. All right, here we go. Question number 3. The number of times Samoa Joe has held the TNT Championship times the number of times Orange Cassidy has held the TNT International Championship.
Oh, I'm not even know.
I don't even know that one.
Well,
Okay, you guys, we have an alternate question, so don't worry.
Okay.
No, 12 is incorrect. I give you guys 2 guesses each. Again,
8.
the number 8 is incorrect. That's your 2 guesses.
5.
5 is close. You got 1 guess left.
3.
3 is incorrect. Neither of you answered that correctly. The number of times Samoa Joe held the TNT Championship times the number of times that Orange Cassidy held the TNT International Championship is 4. Very, very close. You know what? I want to up the stakes here a little bit because it is our final question on the board. So as long as Pinky agrees, this last question is double or nothing. So at worst, he would tie.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? At worst, he would tie. Okay. Here's the final question. The number of counts by a referee to be disqualified in a pro wrestling in a match. Okay, I'm sorry. The number of counts by a referee to be disqualified in a pro wrestling match minus the number of counts to win a pro wrestling match.
2.
2 is correct, ladies and gentlemen. We officially have a tie in tonight's edition.
That's what
the question. Yes.
Wow.
And I knew the first question, the warm-up question.
Well done, guys. Well done. Well, you know what that means? That means that y'all got to come back so we can settle the score down the road. Are you guys down with that?
Definitely.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, rave and make some noise for 2 of the coolest guests we've ever had on the show. I want that round of applause playing in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, Shortcake and Syko. Let's go. You know what this means? That y'all are an incredible team. Because somehow y'all ended up equal again. It's destiny, I tell you.
I tell you.
We love you guys so much. Any final thoughts for the millions and millions of micro wrestling fans out there in the world, man? Hit them.
Don't forget to watch us tonight, and don't forget to follow this podcast, and we'll be back.
Yeah. Adios.
Adios.
Bye, guys.
Before they go,
John, go ahead, buddy.
we had a request, and I can't tell you who the request was from, but we did have a request that wanted to see Syko do his roll call.
Do it. Yes.
Micro wrestling roll call. You know, Syko.
Peace, y'all. See y'all next
Thanks,
time.
guys.
Bye, guys.
next
Love you.
time.
Bye,
God bless. Peace. Yo, John. Micro wrestling is crazy, bro. Discovery Channel right now. Turn this dumbass podcast off. Go take your ass over to Discovery. These are the types of wrestlers worth supporting. Thank you to everybody who tuned in for the very first time here tonight. And thank you to the legacy members of the Wrestle Talk family. John, why don't you go ahead and tell the people how you feel?
Oh, it was a wonderful interview. You know, really look forward to having them back sometime. And like I said, I believe they're going to be in my area come May. Can't wait to actually get to see them perform live, you know, and just all around good show and good interview, and just can't wait to see what happens tonight on the show.
Oh, it's going to be so good. All right, we're going to try to end this in the next 20 seconds. Get that overlay and the music ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Night Owl. He is Hardcore Hoss. This was episode 467 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. We'll be back next week. More guests, more wrestling, more trash talk, more fantasy, more real, more indie, more all this and all that. I am the Night Owl. We love y'all. God bless, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace, y'all.